Come on in. Can you hear me and can you see me okay? Let me know in the chat. Welcome to WealthyU Wind Down, everyone. I'm excited to see everybody. We've got a lot going on in WealthyU. And if you, no matter what platform you're watching us on, just know that every Wednesday night we talk about wealth and we sip a little wine. So come on in the chat, introduce yourself so I can give you some shout outs as well. Hey, we've got Carol from New Jersey. Melissa, I know you're all the way out on the West Coast. So welcome. We have women from near and far and out of the country, and just know that you are all welcome. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Deborah Owens. I'm founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond. And that's why we talk about wealth every Wednesday night. So come in. I want to give some folks some shout outs and also tell you about what's coming up. We got a lot going on in WealthyU Wind Down. I want to bring everybody up to date. And then we're going to talk about, what is going on in this economy. What are the hot topics, if you will, in the wealth arena? And there are a lot of them out there. So good evening. Let me give some shout outs. We've got Wendy. Hey, Wendy, right here in Maryland. Deborah Brady. Hey, it's good to have you back on, Deb, from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Did I get that right? That's right. Lillian's from California. Jean Escarpeta from the great state of Delaware. We've got Stephanie from Ohio. All right. Some Midwesterners, if you will. Excellent, Phyllis. You can hear and see me. That's fantastic. Lamerle, welcome from Lathrop Villa, Michigan, my old stomping grounds. In fact, I started my career as a stockbroker right in Southfield, then moved over to Ford headquarters, Dearborn, where I spent some time with Merrill Lynch and then Fidelity Investments. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to WealthyU Wind Down. Okay, we've got Little Rock, Arkansas in the house. Hey, Deborah, great to have you here. Stephanie Reese from Alabama. That's where my family is from. See, in a minute, y'all gonna say, girl, you from everywhere. And I certainly feel like I'm from everywhere because I've been a few places. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So good evening, everyone. And it is WealthyU Wind Down. So I want to invite you all to get your favorite adult beverage. We're going to take a little stress off of the whole money conversation. And I'm going to give a toast to you. So tonight I am drinking a cab. I'm not even going to say the name because I thought hubby was going to break out the good stuff. So I'm not even going to give this his claim to fame, but just let's say it's cab. And I just want to toast all of you. Hubby's laughing in the background, but I don't know. I might have to have a conversation. However, good evening, everyone. I'm glad you're here. So we have a lot going on. So in the chat, let me know in your comments, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're watching me on Facebook, in the comments, let me know, have you guys been watching Get Wealthy? How many of you know we dropped our 3rd episode on the Black Star Network? And I mean, for me, it has been so exciting. If you watch Get Wealthy, let me know in the chat if you have watched Get Wealthy, one of our episodes. Because here's the deal. It is airing on the Black Star Network and it's on demand. We drop a new episode every Monday at 11 a.m. and at 8 o'clock. And so if you want to watch our prior episodes, then you need to, if we could put that in the chat, you need to go to the Black Star Network, download the app so that you can make sure you get to see what, to me, is a labor of love. And what I'm so excited about is the conversations that we're having on that program. We are featuring many of the women who have been through, are members of WealthyU, and they've really been gracious enough to share their story. How many of you would agree that we don't talk about money, how to invest, how to build wealth or not? Agree or disagree with me? Agree or disagree with me whether or not we talk about money enough? Let me know in the comments and let me know in the chat. Excellent. Okay, so Jacqueline says she watched episode 3. That's right. We don't talk about money enough. And here's what I want you to know, that basically that's why none of us know how to manage or how to build wealth. It's because if we didn't have, no one in our family knew how to invest, or we didn't have an advisor to teach us how to invest, we certainly didn't learn it in our formal education. Would you agree with me on that? And so what I want you to know is that Get Wealthy is really designed so that we can have these conversations, and so that you can peer into the exact steps that women are taking to accelerate their financial growth. So if you haven't seen Get Wealthy, well, let me just give you a little bit of what we covered this week. And it's one of the most important parts, steps in the Wealth Blueprint. And it really was about finding your superpower. And that really is your road to wealth. So watch the tape.
Good job, good pay, good life. Would you be willing to walk away from it to achieve real wealth? Well, that's exactly what this woman did. And boy, did it pay off.
Once you make the decision that this is the direction that you're going to go in, I do believe that there's power in having a decided heart.
Hear her story on the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, on Black Star Network.
So if you have not watched Get Wealthy, man, all I can say is that you are missing a lot. And, I just... you can, again, go to the Black Star Network, download the app. It is also, if you're in the WealthyU community, all of the episodes are pinned to the top of our WealthyU community page. If you haven't joined the WealthyU community, then you need to come on and hang out with us, our free Facebook community. On Facebook, just search for WealthyU community, answer a few questions, and come on and join us inside. Many of you who are on Zoom right now are part of that WealthyU community. So I want to double click on just a minute on Tisa's Get Wealthy episode. Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy. If you have attended any of our master classes, then you may have gotten an opportunity to really hear exactly what she has done to help families pay off over $50 million in student loan debt. And in fact, one of our sisters here in WealthyU recently had almost $100,000 in student loan debt forgiven with the assistance of Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy. But that's only a part of the story, because the reason that she is helping so many people pay off student loan debt is because she left that good government job to really identify what she had a calling for in her life, and that really is about finding your superpower. It's one of the steps in the Wealth Blueprint, the 7 Wealthy Habits, and it's really about you identifying how you can create value for others, and understanding that that really is the secret to building wealth. Which leads me to, that is exactly what our next masterclass is about. The theme of our next masterclass, being held Saturday, March 12th, is leveling up to accelerate your financial growth. We are going to go through a whole day, and we're bringing in some phenomenal experts to assist you in leveling up. And so I want to make sure that you all know that you better get your tickets, because the insider tickets are gone now. We are early bird, so the price of that all-day conference is $197, but right now you can get in on what we're up to by using the promo code EARLYBIRD, all lowercase. You can go to our WealthyUMasterclass.com, WealthyUMasterclass.com, and sign up and get 50% off of the tickets right now. And those are only going to be available for a short time. So, I can't tell you that. What I do want to share with you is that we have one heck of a lineup. And what you should know is that when we design these master classes, we're designing them specifically to address and to enhance and create value for the members who are in our WealthyU coaching programs, whether it's our WealthyU Society or our Legacy Wealth Accelerator. Because within their membership has privileges. They don't even have to buy a ticket. All they have to do is show up. And the way these retreats, and this is our Legacy Wealth virtual retreats, are designed, is to address specific steps within our framework to do a deep dive and to bring other experts in those fields to talk about how women can level up. We've done a legacy where we talk about really creating generational wealth. And what I want you to know is that we design these programs specifically with you in mind. And I have the opportunity to bring a lot of the, build on a lot of the relationships that I have, and a lot of the coaching that I get myself, and meet some of these amazing women. And as a result, bring them in to really pour into all of you. Here's what I want you to know, is that in order to get to the next level, you can't do it on your own strength. In order to get to the next level, you need additional insight and knowledge. And that's exactly what we're going to be bringing you on March 12th. So I just want to share with you guys just a minute some of the amazing speakers that are going to be there. It's so exciting for me because, it'll work if you work it, ladies. So I'm just going to share my screen and let you know who's going to be at this Legacy Wealth Masterclass. We have put it in the chat. Make sure that you take advantage. But first up is Sherry Sims. Sherry is the founder of Black Career Women's Network. And she is a consummate professional in her own right. She's head of diversity and inclusion for a large company, and built Black Career Women's Network really to address what she felt like was a gap in insight and knowledge. And so she's going to be talking about leveling up to lead like a boss. Next up is my good friend Jandy Turner, who is CEO of Acuity Events, and she takes large corporations and trips all over the world to places like Dubai and to teach them how to golf. And then in addition to that, we have Adrienne Simpson, and she's from the LinkedIn Pros. CEO of LinkedIn Pros, and she's going to be sharing with you how to level up on LinkedIn. Many of you don't know that LinkedIn is the most powerful network for networking, and you need to know how to level up in that regard. Also, Tamika Smith, one of our WealthyU members, is going to be talking about, she's an award-winning journalist on the NPR affiliate in Washington, D.C., also host of a podcast, Finamized, and she's going to be sharing with you how to level up and let your light shine. In addition to that, one of our own WealthyU member success advisors and facilitators, Michelle Smith, is going to be sharing exactly what you need to do to level up your income. Since being in WealthyU, she has had quite the transformation, and she's working it out on all cylinders. And as a result, she's really seen her income level up, and she's going to be sharing how to do that. I'm trying to get my husband's attention. My power is going to go out at any minute if we don't put the plug in. So at any rate, we got a lot going on, ladies. How does that sound? Does that sound exciting? Exciting for all of you? Want to hear what you think about the topics that we are going to be sharing in this this virtual retreat. The other thing I didn't mention, one of the things I want you to know, you're thinking, oh my gosh, 10 to 4 all day. Ladies, it goes really fast. For those of you who have attended one of our master classes, does it go fast, and do we have fun? Because also during that day, we have the best DJ ever, and we're rocking it out. At the same time, we are learning what we need to do to accelerate your financial growth. The tickets are selling. We're excited. We're less than a month away, and we want to make sure that you get to take full advantage and that you have an opportunity to take advantage of some of the discounts. So again, great event coming up. And listen, this is the one thing I want to say to our WealthyU members. Do not buy a ticket. Here's what I'm going to say. I think what some of our members, because they walk the talk and they understand what it means in WealthyU to pay it forward, and the fact that we are blessed when we bless others. And so if you want to buy a ticket for somebody else, I'm sure for those of you who are in the WealthyU, your friends are tired of you talking about WealthyU and what you doing tonight. Oh, I got training tonight. What you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going to WealthyU wind down. Oh, what you doing tonight? Oh, well, I'm going to the skill building session that's going to teach me how to analyze and research and stock. What you doing tonight? Oh, well, I'm going to this next session. I'm going to be watching the watch party. Get wealthy. Yeah, they on the Black Star. We on the Black Star Network. And we got to check out our Wealthy. I know they get sick of y'all talking about WealthyU. So what we want to do is we want to just invite them in. And once we invite them in, we know, what I'm really excited about, and many of my close friends joined WealthyU recently. And so I'm excited about that, right? They have known me for years and heard about WealthyU. Then they start seeing me on this WealthyU wind down. They were like, man, do you ever get any rest? And what I want you to know is the reason I can do this, it's not that I don't get tired just like anybody else, but what I want you to know is you all give me energy. Seeing the success that all of you are having, seeing the growth, watching women go from knowing nothing to facilitating classes. So it's more than money is what I want you to know is the most valuable asset of all is the knowledge of how to build wealth. It's not the wealth itself. And so again, I want to invite you. I'm so glad. So who's super excited? Luana says, I'm super excited. Fantastic. Maddie Hayes says, I'm excited. Carol Adams, very exciting. Yes, Deborah. Now, I got to say something about Deborah Brady. I've known Deborah Brady when I launched WealthyU. Deborah Brady was one of my first coaching clients. So I am so excited that she is here this evening. Deborah has been retired. But what I want, we've got a broad range of women, all ages, and Wealthy You. And what I want you to know is the sooner you get started, the better. But what I also want you to know is that it's never too late. And we certainly have some examples of that in Wealthy You. So excited. All right. So we're going to shift for just a minute, because one of the things that, how many of you know our fabulous Deprina, who is all things social media and keeps everybody on point? Y'all better talk to y'all ambassadors and not your our community manager. Just kidding. But you know that Deprina really helps me in so many ways, from the production of Get Wealthy to the thousands of other things that we do. But really to come to Wealthy You Wind Down and really share with you knowledge and insight. And so she has a master's in journalism and has invested a great deal of time and gained expertise. And so one of the things that we want to make sure that we do is kind of keep you, what is going on in the news, right, around wealth. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you guys is, what do you think about what's going? Have you been watching the stock market? And in the chat, let me know what are your thoughts about the economy? How are you feeling specifically? Do you feel like the market's a little topsy-turvy? Or, how are you just feeling about the economy overall? In the chat, let me know. I just want to hear your thoughts on that. Deborah says Deprina is very helpful. Yes, she is. And Deprina will roll out a video on you. If you need to understand some things, she will roll out a video. So that's right. So Deborah says, it seems like inflation is rising. That's right. Good point. Let's see. Phyllis says it's unpredictable. Absolutely right. And then Carolyn says it's up and it's down, and that's the market. But here's a fact that I think is really, really interesting, and one of the tenets and part of the framework of Wealthy You is having a wealth mindset. And a wealth mindset is viewing problems as opportunity. And just understanding that you never lose, you either win or you learn. And so one of the things that came up today, which I feel is that you all need to understand, and you will all recognize what I've been telling you since this volatile market, specifically in the last quarter or so. So COVID happened. And then pretty much the market has been up. I mean, we were in November, we were probably at the highest level ever. The S&P 500 was at 15,000, and then the Dow was at 33,000. I mean, just crazy numbers that we haven't seen before. And since then, we've seen a lot of volatility. Now, part of that is inflation. Inflation is just, I don't even have to define it now. If you go, I went into the grocery store and I thought the girl had given me, I had bought a lot of things, no meat, nothing really expensive, like some herbs and some vegetables and stuff. And then I know it was over $50 and I was like, wow, did all that fit in one bag? And she was like, no, ma'am, you got a little bag over there. I was like, thank God, because I was getting ready to run out of this joint. That's inflation, right? No meat, some bread, some herbs, some lettuce. What else did I have in there? I had some prosciutto or something like that. And I swear, guys, everything was $5. Everything was $5. You remember it used to be like, you could get by with $3.99. right? But hang on, let me go back to my camera. I didn't realize I still had that graphic up. I thought at some point, we would get back to the $3.99, but it was like everything was $5. Everything was $5. It's like, so I mean, think about it. I had 10 things in my basket. Boom, $50. That just like that. And so, so what I want you to understand is that inflation, and then one of the ways that the Fed tries to get a handle on inflation is what they try to do is that's why they're going to start raising interest rates, is because that should then what they're trying to do is now first they trying to stimulate the economy, right, with lower interest rates. And so, people are buying homes, refinancing, that stimulates activity. Now they want to slow that down. But part of the reason, quite frankly, we have inflation right now is because of the supply chain. One of the other things that I noticed in the store is that, things that I typically want to buy, like my Archway oatmeal cookies. Don't be mad at me. Nah, I ain't doing no all carb nothing, right? Can't get my Archway oatmeal cookies. Like I could get them with raisins, but I don't want them with raisin. I know I don't mean to go on this diet chart, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like stuff that you're used to just going in and just picking up. Can't do that, right? So that's part of the reason prices are going up. But here's what I want you guys to understand. And I think this is just so incredible. And I got to read this for you. Since the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the 10 wealthiest people have more than doubled their fortunes. According to a study released by Oxfam last month, their collective wealth has increased from $700 billion to $1.5 trillion. Right? So the reason I think this, now listen, y'all, let's not get mad. Let's not hate on the wealthy people. That's all I'm saying. Let's just take note, right? Let's follow suit with what they're doing. So why did their assets double? Well, the market almost doubled in value since 2020. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like where everybody else was scared and hoarding things, people continue to the wealthy continue what they've always done is look for opportunities within this volatility, right, to invest. And that's the point that I want to make to all of you. Now is not the time to be scared. Now is the time to really understand how we can make our assets grow, and in spite of the ups and downs of the economy. Is this making sense to you? So, Luana says, I work overtime to pay bills and groceries. And that's one of the other reasons. So here's what I want you guys to understand is probably the biggest shift that every one of us needs to make is to understand that just having one income, one job, or if we're retired, just relying on our pension income to take care of our lifestyle is no longer an option, right? If we're going to be able to keep up with the cost of inflation, the way we react to inflation is we have to be thinking about how we can increase our cash flow, right? Now, here's the other thing that came out, a news article, okay, is that Charlie Munger, one of those 10 wealthiest in the world, Warren Buffett's partner, right, Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most valuable investment companies in the world. Basically, what they have is their own little mutual fund. And in that mutual fund, Berkshire Hathaway, they've got some brand names. Guess what's in there? They own Geico, right? The insurance company. That little Dairy Queen that y'all thought was out of style, they own Dairy Queen, is in Berkshire Hathaway, right? And so what I want you guys to understand is that what they do really, really well is identify companies that are doing something really well and invest in them so that their money can grow. Well, that is no longer just limited to the wealthy. You have an opportunity to do that, but in order to choose the right investment, you've got to learn how to identify what those companies are. And here's the other thing I want you to, and by the way, for those of you who are in WealthyU, you have analyzing and researching stock skill building tomorrow. Here's what I'm going to say though. For those of you who have just come on and you have stocks in your portfolio, definitely attend. But what I don't want you to do is get overwhelmed, because I want you to go back to your milestones and know that the first thing you got to master is analyzing and researching your mutual funds, because for many of you, that's where most of your money is. Okay? But the whole point of analyzing and researching stocks and learning how to build a stock watch list is so that you can begin to build an actual portfolio where, just like Berkshire Hathaway, that just like Warren Buffett and his buddy Charlie Munger, you're going to build your own little Berkshire Hathaway, because that's all a portfolio is. It's just you picking investments in companies that allow you to become a share owner and share in the profits of that company, those companies. Are y'all with me? Is this making sense to you? And so the whole goal really is to help your money make money. So one of the other articles that I read about today, and I want you guys to think about this, because I want you to really make the shift, is Charlie Munger made the statement that we will never go back into the office full time. How many of you agree with that? Agree or disagree with that, ladies in the chat or in the comment sections if you're on Facebook. And by the way, let me go over there so I can take a look at what's going on over there too. But so agree, right? So if you agree with that, then what I want to ask you is, what is the opportunity for all of you if you're not going back to an employer's office? What do you think are some steps that you need to take right now to really position yourself to take advantage of this new world we're going to be living in that doesn't require us? Do you know I used to commute 3 hours a day to work? I used to have to get on the bus and I'd go to the parking lot, get on the bus, and then I would go to, it would drop me off in DC. And then I would, come back home, get on the bus, and that would I would leave at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to work by 7:45. And then I would, wouldn't get back home to darn near 8 o'clock at night. So what does that tell you? Okay, so this is great. So become an entrepreneur and work my passion. Yeah, but here's what I want you to understand. You can still have that gig that 9 to 5 could fund, right, your business in its early stages. That's what so here's the most significant aspect of this change is that you don't have to be in one place, and that all you have to do is to achieve certain objectives for whatever. You can have multiple jobs, right? As long as you can achieve the objectives of whoever is employing you. Or the other point is an entrepreneurial pursuit. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about at the retreat. You're going to hear from one of our WealthyU ambassadors who will share with you, even though she has a full-time gig, what other things that she's been doing to create those multiple streams of income, and those opportunities are out there. So, I'm just going to throw a few things out there. Do you know that, and this has been going on for years, that airline customer service for many of the very large corporations, those have been home-based jobs anyway. For you to start, one of the best things you can do. How many of you are familiar with Udemy? Udemy, right? You can take a host of different courses. You can learn social media. You can learn marketing. You can learn SEO. You can learn all kinds of things that you can then, once you develop those skills, right, then you can market yourself. And guess what you can do? You can do it all on the internet. So the whole point of the reason why I wanted to talk about positioning yourself to prosper. I almost called the retreat that, but I really wanted to stick with level up, right? But here's all I'm telling you, ladies. Now is the time to get ready for the opportunity. So you're not getting ready to get ready. Do you hear me? Here's what I want you to understand. Now is not the time for you to sit back and wonder. Now is the time for you to take action. That's right, Carolyn. Position yourself to prosper. Because whenever we are in an environment of great change, those are one of the greatest opportunities that present themselves. Are you guys listening to me? I want you guys to hear this. And so, getting back to the point, that's why I want you to watch Get Wealthy, Tisa's interview, Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy's interview, but because she were in that 1 hour, she walks through exactly the steps that she took to position herself to prosper. Now she has a for-profit company. She, positioned herself. She got her PhD. She wrote a book, and then started this company. And now the rest is history. But that didn't happen overnight, right? She had already positioned herself. She was with an employer that would pay for her PhD, right? So the point I'm making is that all of you have opportunity levers, investment opportunity levers, that if you pull them, will accelerate your financial growth. Kayla says, you're speaking to me. I needed y'all tonight. That's exactly right. So that is why it's so important to be in the right circle of like-minded people, like-minded women who aspire to do more and want to see you do more. You see, that's the biggest thing. That's what, I finally had to come to understand the power of this community. And the power of the community is the energy of the people that are here who are like-minded, who want to see each other go higher and are going higher themselves. Right? Like I don't know about you, but how many of you watched Dr. Sharon Dean's interview on Get Wealthy? If you haven't seen that, that was the first episode. And she, really shared how she went from a negative 1,500 to now towards 7 figures in a very short period of time. And so when you see someone achieving that kind of success, does it inspire you? That's the question I have for you. Does that inspire you? In the chat, does it inspire you? Because here's what I want you to know. If she can do it, that's proof that you can do it too. But ladies, it's going to be different for you. That's what I want you to know. It's going to be different from you. And here's what I finally realized in my own business, right? So I'm on this mission. I want to help women. And, it's like things weren't clicking. I'd have a modicum of success, but I wanted to reach more women and accelerate more women and see more women succeed. And so I had to put myself with other entrepreneurs who had done something similar but different. I want you guys to get this, because this was the greatest insight I had. Some of us, myself included, what I would do is I would be so busy watching what other people were doing, get this, that I wasn't applying the framework of how they were doing it. I want you guys to get this. See, some of us are so busy watching, and we're going over here and we're saying, oh, well, she did that. Oh, well, she did that. Oh, well, she did that. Here's what I want you guys to get. It's not the person and what they're doing. Is identifying the process, right, and the framework that now you can put into place and get the same result. That's the key. The framework on how to do it. It is what I have been missing. Right. Okay, Carolyn? So, if you go through every one of those Get Wealthy interviews, this is all I would say to you guys, is that you have been given the framework. And the first is the mindset, right? So for me, I was an earner, right? I had done very well independently, but I didn't know how to transfer that to an owner where you got to lead, right? Now you got to lead people. It's not just managing yourself and getting yourself to do things. You got to inspire other people to go beyond what they can do. So I had to make the mindset shift from this independent, very successful career. Even though I had managed people, I hadn't built an infrastructure. So I had to go put myself in the midst of people who had built an infrastructure themselves. Are you with me? Because I'm a first generation entrepreneur, just like your first generation investors. I want you guys to get this, right? So the first thing is you've got to make the shift, and you've got to understand that you've got to think differently if you want something different. Are y'all getting this? Right? Like the first thing is mindset. Okay? And that's what, if you look at if you'll listen to Tamika was interview number 2. And she talked about how she had to change of thinking that she had to work hard, and she had to learn how to make her money work, right? So that's strategy. So the next is strategy. So once you change your mindset and you say, you know what? I am no longer I'm going to make this shift from income to wealth. I am no longer just going to focus on making an income. I'm going to focus on learning how to take my income and make it work. Chenier says, yes, I was so inspired by her and I'm looking for some help to start mine. That's right. So you got to put yourself with people who, and that's why I'm in 2 masterminds. I go to, I'm ladies. I am on virtual retreats myself. I was talking with somebody from the UK this morning who he said, hey, I think I can solve this problem for you. So you have to get after it. Are y'all with me? And so that strategy that you have to employ is to find what your superpower is. Like what is it that you're really good at? What can you serve with? What is that thing that you do really well that now you can monetize it? And many of you are doing it in your formal occupations, but it doesn't have to be that formal occupation. And here's the other thing that I want you to understand is that skills are transferable, right? Like if you are great at organizing, if you're a great project manager, if you're great at details, if you're a great salesperson, you could sell ice and you could sell technology. You could sell medical devices. You guys get what I'm saying? So it's the skill, right? It's not that's the gift. And one of the things that we're going to do at the Level Up Retreat is really getting into superpower and helping you identify what that is. So strategy, talking about framework, and now you got to execute. Now here's the last thing I want to say about execution. Some of you got to get out. You got to get out of your head, ladies. You got to get out of your head. Some of you have all of this up in your head, right? Like you're taking a lot of notes. You know, you're coming to WealthyU Wind Down. You've been coming to WealthyU Wind Down all year. And you're watching me interview all these different people and you're seeing their successes, but you know what you need to do, but you're afraid to do it. How many of you can relate to that? That's right. Overthinking. Analysis paralysis. And you want to know the secret to doing that? To getting out of that? The secret is do it now. The most powerful 3 words are do it now. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And it doesn't even have to be right. You know, the biggest lesson that I learned from my coach, or one of my coaches, and who's just brilliant and has built a magnificent business helping Black entrepreneurs scale. And, I remember early on I would do an event and enough people wouldn't, some of our events, if you look at some of our pictures, we had like 20 people show up. And I would just be so sad. And, my poor husband would be like, honey, it's okay. The people that are here, they're supposed to be here. And I was like, oh my gosh, we did all of this. And I get so frustrated. And I'd be like, I don't want to do this no more. And then I talked to my coach. You told me to do this and this was a bust and this didn't happen. He said, you know what, then? I'm going to do this over here and I'm going to move over here and I'm going to do this. He would just look at me and he would say, Dad, no, you're going to go right back to that same place and you're going to change this one thing and let's see how that works. And so the other framework in WealthyU, what is it? It's analyze, optimize, maximize. Okay? So again, some of you are 10 feet away from gold. You'll try something and you'll say, oh, well, that didn't work. And then you'll run over here. And then you'll try something else. And it didn't necessarily go the way you wanted to do. So you'll say, well, I'm going to go do this, right? Or you can be like me, like I was, and I'm very cognizant of this now, is that a shiny object syndrome. Like something new come. How many of you can relate to this, right? Like, oh, that's something new. That's over there. Let me try that, right? And then, oh, well, so-and-so's doing this. Let me try that. Or maybe you're around people and they're always presenting things to you. And what I want you to understand, and probably the biggest lesson that we'll all learn, is that all success is all it is incremental improvement, right? It's just improving a little bit more. If you improve a little bit more every day, eventually you're going to do you're going to do something really, really big. So let me go to these comments. So Carolyn says, we get too comfortable with where we are, and when it comes time to move into the uncomfortable zone, we become afraid. Woo, Carolyn! Oh, goodness. Now, that was a sermon in those two words. We get too comfortable. That's right. Some of you are too comfortable. But you know why you're too comfortable? I'm going to be honest with you. The reason you're too comfortable is because the people around you are too comfortable. Right? Like, if you want to do something different, I'm just telling you. We had, in one of our master classes, we had one of our mindset coaches, Kyrie Var, come. How many of you in the chat, tell me if you remember Kyrie Var? And one of the things that Kyrie, top martial artist, amazing woman, lives in Toronto. And one of the points she made was that you can be in the wrong container. Some of you are in like the scarcity container. Right? And so your lens, everything you look at is from the view of it's not enough. Right? And so you got to put yourself in the possibility container, right? And when you get in the possibility container, then anything's possible. And part of that is not only the container, is the people. I want you guys to get this. Like if you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to get out of that container. Because the other people you're with, they're in that scarcity container too. And it's interesting. I want to share this with you guys. So I was on LinkedIn, and this lady really poured her heart out, and she said how she, had these goals, and she knew they were lofty goals, and she shared them with a lady who was pretty successful, and she felt like that she'd share it with her because she felt like she was successful. She would encourage her. Oh, this woman read her down one side and the other and told her that her goals were too huge and that's not even possible. And let me just tell y'all something. I had to respond to that post. I did. I just broke out the Mae Jemison quote. And that is, you cannot have people with limited mindset limit what your possibilities are. I want you guys to get this. Because if you share, and that's why, I don't know if I believe with this. People say, oh, well, you shouldn't share your goals and your dreams with people. Well, that's insane, right? Because that's how you get help, when you share people. Like, nobody can I hear people say, well, I don't want to tell you my idea. You might take it, and ain't nothing new. Here's what I want you to understand. Nothing is new, but you can deliver it in a new way. Do you guys agree or disagree with me? Right? Like a Louis Vuitton bag is made up of vinyl and some leather. But it's the way they deliver it. Right? You walk into Louis Vuitton, you done walked up in somewhere, right? And I just heard this about Chanel. Like, Chanel they only have so many bags in their store. It's like you can't just say, give me one of those bags. They might only have one. And once they sell it, they do that for scarcity. Right? So the point I want to make is that no, you don't have to be careful of who you share your dreams with. But you better darn well observe. Right? Like when people show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou. Okay? And really, what you know, the people who are in your corner, because they are going to be cheering you on. Those are your people. Okay? Y'all get this? Like, those are your people. Now, the people, when you share something with them about what you want to do and what your plans are and what your goals are, and doggone it, if you're going to dream, you better dream big. Why not? Okay? And if those, oh, girl, you don't want to do that because this could happen, that could happen, this could happen, those aren't your people, right? And those are the people that are in the scarcity container. You want to be in the possibility container. And hopefully you feel like WealthyU is that. In the chat, do you feel like WealthyU is the possibility container? Because that's exactly what we built. And we built this for you. To let you know and to show you that it is possible. And that's why we have women share their stories. That's exactly why, right? Because we want them to let you know that they were exactly where you were. They apply a framework, and that's what we give you in WealthyU. And if you execute on that framework, and if you surround, and if you stay connected, and if you attend our WealthyU wind downs, and you come to, our trainings, and you watch Get Wealthy, and there's always some harebrained event that or something that I'm traveling with, and I bring my WealthyU sisters along because I want them to be exposed to the same things that I'm exposed to. Then there's power in that. That's what I want all of you to understand, that there is power in community. And there's power in being around people who aspire to move beyond their current circumstances to something greater. Ladies, I'm going to end with this. And it's if you're not growing, you are dying. Somebody needs to hear this, but somebody needs to step up. And so finally, I want to invite you, make sure you sign up for our Level Up retreat. It is all day. It's going to be fun, and we've designed it specifically to give you tools and strategies that are going to assist you in going to the next level, because that, ladies, is exactly what it's about. I hope you enjoyed this evening. Let me just go to the chat. Yes, WealthyU is definitely a possibility container. I appreciate that, Deborah. Lillian says, that's why I invested in myself. Ladies, if you want something different, you are going to have to invest, and it's going to cost you, and it's going to require you to do something that you've never done. Jacqueline says, yes, I'm definitely inspired. Carolyn Franklin, the women in WealthyU are like-minded. That's right. Jean Escarpeta, you have got to believe you can. Amen. Lillian said, drop the mic. That's right. If you are not growing, ladies, you are dying. And we are all about growth in WealthyU. And I appreciate your coming on WealthyU Wind Down again. Just finally, make sure you download the Black Star Network. Make sure you're watching Get Wealthy. We've got another phenomenal segment, new episode coming up on Monday. But make sure you tell your friends, and hey, invite some friends to our like here. Finally, this is all I'm going to say. We always want to take the people around us when you grow, you want somebody to experience that same type of growth. I know I'm like that. Like if I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs, and when I find something that works, I'm like, girl, you need to come on over here because you need to learn how to do this, blah, 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 right? And so, one of the things that I often do is just invite people to something, right? And let them make their own decision. You can't make decisions for people, but you certainly can expose them to things that are going to be beneficial, because again, this is a sisterhood and we just want to see you succeed. And with that, ladies, I'm going to bid you good night. And for those of you who are in the WealthyU Society and Legacy Wealth Accelerator, there is training tomorrow. Just look in your Facebook group. All of the postings are there. Again, I hope to see you at our Level Up retreat. And that's going to do it for me this evening. I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond, so that they can achieve the level of financial success they desire and they deserve.